the writing's on the wall. You can't erase it, and it looks like Trey Lance. You think he's done here in San Francisco?
There's no doubt.
I'll put it that way.
Okay. And Steiny, I'm so conflicted, and I need your help to get me through these 4 hours. But Steiny, you got a fresh haircut too. We're ready. We'll be in Vegas tomorrow, 10 to 2, Circle Hotel. But I feel lied to by Kyle. I don't like the way he handles and goes about his business, and it's his prerogative. But I honestly thought Trey Lance had a chance to get this number 2 job, and Mark Willard, Bonte Hill looked us in the face, and they felt like when Sam Darnold put his John Hancock on the contract to come here, it was already done. So I'm going to say this, Steiny. Kyle Shanahan, you are brilliant at devising plays and drawing up plays, but my goodness, you are not allowed at the table when it comes to projecting on what a good quarterback can be, because this is a total miss and fail. And all the people that bought Trey Lance jerseys, all the people that had confidence in Kyle's genius or Jedi to know what a good quarterback's going to be or project again, you failed. This is bad. And the only reason I'm not going all the way in, Steiny, is they got Brock Purdy, which is the best deodorant for us to go in on Kyle in this blunder that does cost people their jobs.
I thought Trey Lance had a shot at the backup quarterback. Are you saying now you think that he didn't have a shot at all?
No, I thought he did.
Yeah, I thought he did too.
But we find out now he didn't.
Well,
they were trying to trade him allegedly in the offseason. So take your victory lap.
No.
On your first day back.
Why? No.
You said, "Goo, they know. They don't. They watch practice."
No,
we fought.
Well, no, but I thought Trey Lance had a chance to be the backup quarterback, to beat out Sam Darnold. The thing that I think's funny now is now it seems like members of the media are saying, well, what's all the hubbub?
That's
we
what
knew
I don't
Darnold
like.
was going to be the backup.
Oh,
they didn't bring Darnold in here to be the third string. I get all that, but you're damn right I thought Trey Lance was going to – I thought he was probably going to win the backup job. Am I in the minority there?
No.
Or that he certainly had an opportunity to win it. But the idea now that why is everybody so surprised? The reason everybody's so surprised is because this has taken everybody by surprise. Because yesterday what happened was the 49ers told Trey Lance, you're the number 3 quarterback, and clearly the kid was despondent.
Didn't show up.
What? They told him, apparently, look, take the day. Just take the day, get your head clear. So it must have been a surprise to Trey Lance.
Ooh,
so if it was a surprise to Trey Lance, I guess the media knew something that Trey Lance, who was competing for the job, didn't know. Because I do think this is a big deal.
Humongous.
Whether it matters in the long term, we'll see, because this is so similar to James Wiseman, it's unbelievable. As long as the 49ers keep winning, they're fine. They're fine.
But the Warriors, unlike the Niners, don't have their version of a Brock Purdy at that position. But you still got
true.
Steph Curry. But
they also have 4 titles. So,
yeah, no doubt.
They have a little more wiggle room than the San Francisco 49ers. But
welcome back,
I'm
Jack.
pretty, I don't know if I'm surprised, because we all knew there was a competition at number 2. I guess the other thing I'm intrigued by is how it all came down. So the 49ers start practice, and I'm just going to, this is the way I saw it. Tell me if somebody thinks I'm misreading it. Media goes out to practice, and Trey Lance isn't there. Okay. Well, at that point, the writers start, why isn't Trey Lance here?
Fred Warner, too. He was like, where's Trey?
So at that point, during practice, the reporters start making calls, and Pelissero finds out, Trey found out, or Trey's the number 3 quarterback, and he's not practicing today, and they're probably going to be looking for deals for him. So the reality of the situation, little stuff I think of is, well, what if Trey Lance wasn't despondent? What if Trey Lance said, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm number 3. I'm going to go out there today and work hard to be number 2. And Trey Lance would have been out there. Would Kyle Shanahan have even mentioned this to anybody about that there'd been that the quarterback depth chart had been set? Because the day before,
there you go.
The day before,
talk to me.
He told reporters, may go a while before I name the backup.
Yeah, a week before
string.
Pittsburgh game.
I mean,
Why I say you need to take a lap, Steiny, is I feel like, and again, it's their decision. I feel like they knew and had no confidence in Trey from the beginning.
When's the beginning, though? Season 1?
The end of last season. When Brock Purdy took off,
okay.
I think they
finishes up, he gets hurt.
They knew Trey could, because I feel like they owe Trey what they had given him. I can't omit that, Steiny. They did give Trey Lance the keys. Kyle did. He did give that man the keys. He got hurt, and now, we got a Cinderella story going in Brock Purdy. So that is the one part of this I got to slow my roll on. If I'm Trey Lance, Steiny, I got to be mad that the luck was so bad that Cinderella took over once I got hurt after I was the starter.
888-957-9570 is the number. Steiny Guru back together. We'd love to hear from you. Just huge news yesterday out of Santa Clara. And, Kyle Shanahan was the one that said that Trey Lance was despondent. What was the exact word that Shanahan used? I want to be that he took it hard and he was emotional, and they said, look, take the day off. So clearly he wasn't saying, woo! I'm ahead of Brandon Allen.
Wow.
At least I'm ahead of Brandon Allen.
And I thought that's what he was playing for, Steiny.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, as long as you make the team.
Couple things that I think of. So I was thinking of this on air. So what are we going to do today? What's the show going to be like?
Steiny's trip.
4 hours of complaining and saying they made a big mistake and talking about accountability. And I get it. This is probably the show to do it, about the mistake the San Francisco 49ers just made. But in a way, we can do it. But because we were talking about the backup quarterback and the third-string quarterback, how much does it really affect the team?
That's what we're talking about.
If everything goes right. Now, if everything doesn't go right, we'll have a lot more to talk about. The thing that I think, to me, the biggest takeaway is I do think it makes Kyle Shanahan, and I want to be careful how I use this word, more vulnerable. Not vulnerable to getting fired. Not vulnerable to being on the hot seat. But it's made him more vulnerable with a fan base. And the fact that everyone knows he moved up to get this guy, and everyone knows he realized the guy couldn't play for him, that means that as much as Shanahan's got his fingerprints all over the quarterback position, he still hasn't figured it out.
Yeah.
So we move on.
But there's a flip side to that, Steiny. There's a B to the side A, right?
Give it to me.
The euphoria of, hey, I know I messed it up on the third pick and those picks, but look what I got. And right now, what he has is the most wonderful story currently going in the NFL is Brock Purdy. So only a hater, and I need you to help me out, Steiny, because I'm not trying to be that today. Kyle Shanahan and company deserve if we were in a different city and there was no Brock Purdy, I think they could get fired for this blunder. But when do you talk about that when this team is a top 3 team, when you talk about talent, a talented roster, and I got a quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, that is, a few months away from maybe a movie being made. So as much as we want to throw rocks and stones at Kyle in the Trey Lance pick, Steiny, I got to have perspective and say, well, you're doing good on the other end, and that's all that matters. And maybe they say, you know what? We're tired of the circus that comes with Trey that we created. We owe it to these players to focus on Pittsburgh. Trey is not going to be the guy. We've seen enough, so we're about to rip the Band-Aid off, and we got a season to get ready for.
The other thing that
it's incredible.
The other thing that, to me, that I don't that I kind of reject is one of the things the 49ers are going to have to do, especially if they move, and I heard Shanahan kind of refer to it already, that, no, this doesn't mean it's the end for Trey. And the idea is maybe he can be the third-string quarterback here, or maybe we'll move him. But you know what? Trey Lance can still be a good quarterback in this league. Well, then you can't trade him. If you really believe that, you cannot trade him.
But you're forgetting his personality and his will, if he thinks, what the hell, I'm behind Darnold, I'm talking about Trey Lance, Steiny, his competitive nature, you guys need to do me a solid and give me, we don't know if that's happening, and get me up out of here. And I told Alan Steiny, who did a great job filling in for you while you were gone, as well as Evan for me when I was out, I told him after Trey Lance, I know you were cross seas, but Saturday night, Trey Lance drives him down. Didn't have the best game, Steiny, but he ended on a good note. He was getting dressed now, I believe, in his locker room. It wasn't a lot of, I'm going to go have a pop. You know, not that I'm the starter, but I felt something. And now I'm wondering if he already knew where this ship was headed, his ship. Like, it don't matter.
Sounds to me like he probably saw the writing on the wall for a while.
Man.
And yesterday was when the ton of bricks came down.
In spray paint. That writing was in spray paint,
nice.
Steiny.
888-957-9570 is the number. Steiny Guru with you. We'll be here till 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we're headed to Vegas for a show tomorrow.
You tired?
What's that?
You tired?
No.
Okay.
Why would I be tired?
Well, you've been traveling.
Maybe I
and your daughter's going with us?
I had a rest.
Yeah, your daughter, Grace?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
no, Mia.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's go to numbers 888-957-9570 is a number. This is one of those topics, as far as I'm concerned, where there's so many different avenues to go up. I don't have to ask a specific. What is this? Is this an indictment on Kyle Shanahan? Is it an indictment on his arrogance? Is it a criticism of his ability to assess a quarterback? Is it not that big a deal? And you know what? If you come in here and say it's not that big a deal yet, or let's just say it's not that big a deal, I would say you're right. Yet, for example, we don't know. The 49ers may not surface for another year or two, this mistake. But I do see the people out there who are saying, look, we got a high draft pick wrong, but we got this guy Purdy, and we think he's pretty good, so no harm, no foul.
But hold on, Stein. It's not that plain. It's not that simple. It's what they use to move up. They could have Micah Parsons. Remember how you always talk to me about, okay, Goo, who behind Wiseman can we really say was available? And it's our guy, LaMelo Ball.
Right.
But there's a litany of guys, Micah Parsons, Surtain, the defensive back special, all kind of guys the Niners could have had, maybe an old lineman. So it is a big deal, and I think it's added pressure on Brock Purdy. And people could say, oh, he's a pro athlete. It's kind of not his fault, pressure, Steiny.
It's funny,
because your coach and GM put you in a situation, son, to where you got to ball out. Because if you don't, it could be EDD for these guys.
But hold on. This is the part where I'll just take the other side. Okay, so what were the 49ers, what was the goal for the season for the San Francisco 49ers 4 days ago?
Super Bowl.
What's the goal today? This is what I mean. Trey Lance, in a way, is irrelevant. It's up to Purdy one way or the other anyway.
Right.
And if Purdy's able to get it done, nobody's going to care. Nobody cared that the Warriors drafted Wiseman and then when they won the title. Nobody cared that the San Francisco Giants made one of the worst free agent signings in history when they signed Barry Zito, and then they won in spite of him. So I do feel like, obviously, if Trey Lance is gone, they made a big mistake, and they'll never get those 2 picks back. But they still made 3 NFC title games the last 4 years. They were in a Super Bowl.
Right.
They think they're going to go there again. So, that's his safety net. And when I say his, it's Kyle Shanahan's safety net. Now, you go 10 and you go 9 and 8.
Okay. Or get off to a 3-5 start again that we've seen. Yeah. My point is, Brock Purdy not only looks like he's the guy, Steiny, but he's the cologne that will prevent anybody from really coming down the road for the missed pick on Trey.
No doubt.
Do you think Trey is going to be traded in the next 48 hours?
I don't know about that. I think he'll be traded.
Okay.
Eventually.
So it's over here. Do we see him at practice today?
We're supposed to play tomorrow in the game.
Oh, who
are they playing tomorrow? Oh,
Chargers. Yeah.
Chargers.
Last preseason game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
this is crazy, man. You were right.
Is it?
You were right.
But how crazy is it? I think we just found out yesterday something we all were we all thought might happen, but we were hoping it wouldn't. I wanted Trey Lance to be the backup quarterback.
You wanted 4 games. I've been using that while you were
Sam
gone.
Darnold to be the backup quarterback. Like nobody. Like nobody.
We put a poll yesterday, Scotty, with 77% people wanted Lance to be the backup.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always with a young player. They got to prove it. And I feel like I always come down on the side of the team for not playing a young player. I don't like when young players are given anything. But by the same token, I mean,
Purdy earned his, Steiny.
Absolutely. So it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe
I know we got
we'll
calls.
have bigger news. You're right. Maybe we'll have bigger news quickly.
Ask me if I had a bottle or genie, and I could get or speak to anybody and look in their mind. It wouldn't be Beyonce, Jay-Z. It would be Kyle Shanahan, Steiny. And what made you think Trey Lance could be your guy?
It's $1 million. It's one of the $1 million questions.
I think it's $2 million, which I hope to bring back from Vegas. Yeah, Steiny.
925. There's a possibility that this really does go sideways on Kyle. No,
Oh, my God.
I agree with that.
Oh, my goodness.
I agree with that.
Yes, right. Waze would
Absolutely
say,
agree with
hazard ahead. Be careful.
So the question is Brandon Allen going to be the number 3 quarterback now?
You got to think.
That we're to understand.
And Steiny, while you were
what
gone,
are you going to get for Trey Lance right now when Kyle Shanahan has basically kicked him to the curb? That's the other thing.
or was Saturday's game-winning drive, did the Atlanta Falcons say, okay, we'll take a flyer, we'll give you a fifth? I think at this point the Niners would take anything for Trey. I don't know.
I mean, on a practical level, though, can you really have? And I know what's he making, $9 million.
Yeah,
but can you have your highest paid quarterback be the third string quarterback? So they move off him, and
man. But you are right. It's changed nothing in regard to Goo. What's the operation this year? Operation Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that to me,
that is, you know what? This is a sideshow, but it doesn't change what you just said.
For the life of me too is I threw this out on Twitter. I know we're talking about regular season opener is what, September 11th, something like that. September 2 weeks from this weekend.
Yeah.
So Kyle Shanahan obviously is 2 weeks away from the first game of the year, and there's 2 weeks left. You go ahead and trade Trey Lance. I mean, I guess you could get something for him, but does it matter? You're not getting 2 firsts, which is what you gave up.
Well, look at you.
So, but again, to me, Kyle Shanahan has got to come out today. But this is not his style, and he doesn't have to say, "I blew it, I made a mistake," but just tell people the truth.
There you go.
Just tell people the truth. You know what? We thought Trey would be a little further along. Maybe we say something like, maybe we underestimated how great we were going to be this quickly as a team. Maybe say, you know what? We're afraid we made a mistake because we can't put Trey in a position
I love it.
where he's learning and everybody else. So we'll take that hit. And if you believe Trey Lance still has a future, then say Trey Lance still has a future. But my point is you still have an opportunity to just say, look, this is the situation. We did what we did. We're here now. And we got to move forward, because I do believe if Shanahan just comes out and says it, and again, I made a mistake. I blew it. I drafted a guy who couldn't play. That's not what I'm asking for. But what I'm asking for is some kind of acknowledgement that, whatever happened is now done, and it's Purdy and Sam Darnold, and here we go. And then by week 1 of the regular season, I do think this thing won't be a big deal. Kind of like James Wiseman's not a big deal right now anymore for the Warriors. He's just not. But to me, it's up to Kyle to put this thing to bed before the season starts. The other thing I was thinking of is we really don't know how the team feels about anything.
Well, I think before we do. Tell me if you heard this one before you left, and it might have been on my watch, Donnie, but it was about Brock Purdy and a practice they had last offseason, and practice was over, and it was Warner and Trent Williams talking about Brock Purdy and the practice that he had and just how fond they were of him. And I think we talked about it, but correct me if I'm wrong. They knew then that this kid had it. So I guess, Steiny, they weren't the only ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on in the locker room, but
it's pro Trey, and right, he's earned that. But excuse me, it's pro Brock, but
it's absolutely pro Brock, but that doesn't mean that there might not be an issue with how the team views the way Shanahan handled Trey.
Because there's no Warriors doing that with Wiseman, right?
I mean, that's the one thing that I mean, I know it's that people. Oh, you're stirring it up. Like, why did they hang Fred Warner out there to dry yesterday? I mean, they did. Sorry, but that's what happened. Hey, Fred, what's going on in the quarterback situation? Humming.
Wow, man.
What's that? That's kind of.
And what about
Lynch?
Did you hear Lynch say, we called Trey in, told him Darnold was our number 2, we'll try to do right by you. And Lynch saying to the masses, I'm surprised it got out. Like, how can you be surprised, John?